Pretty heavy, Mrs. Johnson. Must be another wedding gift.
Thank you.
United Parcel Service Inc., or UPS, is the world's largest package delivery company. In 2003, the Atlanta-based company shipped approximately 3.4 billion items to over 200 countries and territories. Although it began as a simple bicycle messenger service in 1907, how did it rise to such heights? Join us today as we look deeper into the fascinating story of how UPS came to be the world's largest package delivery company. Stay tuned. UPS is an international package delivery company founded in 1907 in Seattle by 19-year-old Jim Casey and his friend Claude Ryan. They built American Messenger Company with only 2 bicycles and a handful of messengers, 1 phone, and a tiny office in the basement of a saloon. The messengers ran errands for the people, as well as delivered telegrams, notes, and packages. In order to maintain the operations of his failing business, Casey delivered telegraph messages, served hot lunches, and occasionally took odd jobs. In order to create Merchants Parcel Delivery, Casey combined his business with the rival organization Motorcycle Delivery Company of Everett McCabe. There were a few motorcycles and a Model T Ford in the fleet at this point. In 1916, company drivers joined the International Brotherhood of Teamsters with Casey's approval. 3 Seattle department stores hired the service in 1918 to deliver merchandise to customers on the day of purchase. Until the late 1940s, department store deliveries were the firm's major focus. Meanwhile, Merchants Parcel Delivery made its first foray outside of its home market in 1919, purchasing a delivery firm in Oakland, California. Since a company with the same name already existed in San Francisco, another name change was necessary. So, the name United Parcel Service was chosen at the time. UPS expanded to Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, and Portland, Oregon in the 1920s. With the start of delivery service in New York City in 1930, an East Coast expansion journey began. That same year, UPS relocated its headquarters to New York through a newly created division called United Air Express, which loaded packages onto passenger aircraft. UPS started offering air delivery services in 1929. The Great Depression ended plans for overnight air service, and UPS terminated United Air Express in 1931. The company did not resume air service until 1953, when UPS Air was launched as a 2-day service connecting major cities on the east and west coasts. The UPS-served urban department stores started following their customers to the new suburbs in the latter part of the 1940s. More people drove cars and picked up their own packages. The revenue of UPS decreased. Casey decided to take a different path and expand his common carrier parcel business, picking up parcels from anyone and delivering them to anyone else for a flat fee per parcel. UPS expanded it to San Francisco, Chicago, and New York in 1953. Any package meeting weight and size requirements was delivered to any location within 150 miles of these bases by UPS. After this initial expansion, UPS frequently appeared before the Interstate Commerce Commission to expand its operating rights. In 1962, when UPS had annual revenues of approximately $141 million, Casey resigned as CEO. George D. Smith took over as his successor. Between 1964 and 1969, UPS's sales and profits more than doubled, reaching $31.9 million on about $548 million in sales. The company remained privately owned, its stock held by several hundred of its executives. In 1969, UPS served 31 states on the east and west coasts. It had recently received ICC approval to add 9 Midwestern states and was soon to receive approval for 3 more. The firm kept a low profile, avoiding publicity, and it hoped that keeping a low profile would prevent anyone from copying its methods. In 1970, Congress considered a postal reform that would allow the USPS to subsidize its parcel post operations with profits from first-class mail. This would allow it to compete more directly with UPS and lower its prices. UPS hired a public relations firm and publicly announced its earnings for the first time, attempting to make the case that it was an essential part of the US economy and that postal reform would be disruptive. In 1969, UPS handled 500 million packages for 165,000 regular customers. According to the company, 95% of all deliveries within 150 miles were delivered overnight. UPS continued to expand rapidly, aided by trucking deregulation in 1980. UPS had earned $189 million on $4 billion in revenue, shipping 1.5 billion packages. However, Federal Express Corporation, or FedEx, which began operations in 1973, was siphoning off of a growing portion of UPS's business. To compete with FedEx, UPS bought 9 used 727 airplanes in 1981 from Braniff Airlines for $28 million. It opened as an air hub in Louisville, Kentucky, but was hesitant to directly compete with FedEx due to the high cost of building an air fleet. It decided to stick with 2-day delivery rather than overnight delivery, hoping that many businesses would be willing to let packages take an extra day if it meant saving up to 70%. In 1982, UPS made the decision to start providing overnight air delivery for roughly half of FedEx price. The company was shipping a combined 140,000 packages per day using its second-day and next-day services by 1983. UPS made $332 million on $5.2 billion in sales in 1982. Its truck fleet numbered more than 62,000. The fastest growing sector of UPS's business was catalog and mail order businesses. UPS started providing international air service between the US and 6 European nations in 1985. By 1988, UPS's ground service was growing at a rate of 7 to 8% per year, and its air service was growing at a rate of 30% per year. UPS handled 2.3 billion packages per year, while the US Postal Service handled 1.4 billion. In 1988, the UPS Overnight Service's 300-plane fleet handled 600,000 parcels and documents per day, earning $350 million on $2.2 billion in sales. UPS purchased its Italian partner, Alimondo, in 1988, with the intention of using it and its German base to expand throughout Europe. In order to expand its air service, the company also purchased 9 small European courier companies. UPS spent less than $100 million on overseas acquisitions. UPS and its competitor FedEx were both losing money on overseas operations, but UPS had an advantage. FedEx couldn't match UPS's $6.5 billion in assets and $480 million in cash with minimal debt. As the two companies struggled to build a global delivery network, UPS hoped this would give it more staying power. Meanwhile, UPS gradually gained some of FedEx customers by offering volume discounts, which it had previously refused to do. In 1989, Kent C. Nelson succeeded Jack Rogers as chairman and CEO. The new CEO successfully led a gradual but complete transformation of UPS from its inner workings to its public image. In response to competition from both large and small companies, UPS introduced a slew of new services in the early 1990s. The company's worldwide logistics subsidiary provided clients with services ranging from inventory management to warehousing, and of course, delivery. These expanded operations were supported by powerful and expensive technical systems, which were frequently developed internally by a 4,000-member staff. By 1992, the corporation was investing more in computers than in the ubiquitous brown vehicles. These internal changes reflected both the company's traditional emphasis on super efficiency and its newfound emphasis on customer satisfaction. UPS relocated its corporate headquarters from Greenwich, Connecticut to Atlanta, Georgia in 1991. Another significant development took place during this time period, when the corporation launched a new stock purchase program, open to all UPS employees in 1995. In contrast to its secretive early years, UPS in the 1990s was a daring global marketer. In 1996, the company launched its largest advertising campaign in history, spending an estimated $100 million in conjunction with its sponsorship of the Centennial Olympics held in its new home of Atlanta. James P. Kelly took over as chairman and CEO in January 1997. His first year at the company was disrupted by the 190,000 Teamsters employees at UPS going on strike for 15 days in August before agreeing to a new 5-year contract. UPS lost $700 million in revenue as a result of the strike, resulting in less than 1% sales growth for the year and a drop in profits to $909 million from $1.15 billion in 1996. UPS had shaken off any lingering effects of the strike by 1998, when its domestic shipping revenues increased 9.4% to $20.65 billion. UPS continued to benefit from the ever-expanding e-commerce sector, which fueled demand for shipping services. UPS began its post-IPO acquisition spree in 2000 when it purchased Challenger Air Cargo, a Miami-based freight carrier that operates in Latin America. UPS paid approximately $185 million in cash in April 2001 for mailboxes, etc., a franchise-based chain of stores in the United States that provides packing, shipping, and mail services. UPS acquired Fritz Companies, Inc. in a $456 million stock swap in May 2001 as part of the company's aggressive move into global supply chain management. Then, in late 2002, UPS Freight Services and UPS Logistics Group merged to form UPS Supply Chain Solutions, a streamlined unit with operations in 120 countries. Despite the implosion of numerous e-commerce companies and the package deliveries that died with them, UPS managed to grow during the recessionary early 2000s. Total revenues reached $33.49 billion by 2003, with faster growth in international package deliveries and non-package operations making up for their shortfalls in the US package delivery sector. Even now, UPS remains one of the most respected companies in its industry and a formidable competitor. That's it for today. Have you ever used any services from UPS? Let us know in the comments.